So now we're going to take off the front end and we're going to strip the copper. So our next step is to go ahead and restrip it to the half crest. And we still need to do it a little bit more. Perfect. So our next step is to insert the O-ring onto the cable. And it goes on the very last ring. We're going to add our grease. We're just going to put a little bit. We're going to take our finger and we're going to make that grease go around the O-ring, and that just helps get the connector on and also helps seal it. Next thing we're going to do is disassemble our connector, and we're going to install the bottom half. So this is what the installed back end of the connector should look like. So now we're going to make sure that the collet is seated all the way into the back end of the connector. We're going to compress the springs and push the connector forward. Okay, the next step is to add a little bit of grease to the inside O-ring. Just a little bit, and take your finger then and just get it on the O-ring itself. Clean your hands off so your connection stays clean as you're working with your materials. And now we're going to install the front end of the connector. First step is to put your 20mm wrench on the flats of the back end of the connector. Then install the front end of the connector. You can turn it about once, that's about it. Then you're going to hold the connector in place and you're going to turn from the back. So we've turned the cable assembly around so you can see it better on the camera. We're going to add our 19mm wrench to the front end of the connector. And then we're going to install the connector by rotating the back wrench and holding the front of the connector still. The reason we do this is we don't want to mar the center contact of the cable. So we continue to tighten. Until it's snug. And we're also looking to see that that center O-ring actually goes away, so you can't see it anymore. A quick quality check would mean that you could try to twist the connector by your hand. If it moves on the cable, you'll need to tighten it more. So the final termination should look like this, where you can't see the O-ring. There's no grease on the connector, and it's clean.